they need the rotation to step up more than it has. And specifically, they need Carmen Mlodzinski to be what he expects of himself, which is a good fourth, fifth starter at this level. Carmen Mlodzinski got what he wanted. A couple weeks back, the injury to Mitch Keller opened an opportunity, opened a door for Carmen Mlodzinski to get back in the rotation, something that he was very vocal about, that he wanted to have happen. Not somebody to get injured, but he wanted to be back in the rotation. He never wanted to go to the bullpen. It wasn't, hey, I'll do what's best for the team. It's, well, if you're going to send me back to the bullpen, I need to take some time and evaluate my options here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And eventually he did go back to the bullpen, and he was great in the bullpen. And now the door opens, the opportunity arises for him to get back in the starting rotation, and it's been ugly, to say the least. 3 starts since Mlodzinski has rejoined the rotation. 0-3 record, 8 1/3 innings pitched, 13 earned runs, which is good for a 14.04 ERA over, again, 3 starts. He hasn't gone past 3 innings in any of his starts since rejoining the rotation, and he's given up at least 4 runs in every single start. I was in the building on Monday night for his latest start, and it was ugly. 3 innings, 4 earned runs on 8 hits, including a home run given up to Kevin McGonigal of the Detroit Tigers. They were crushing the ball. Even when he was getting lineouts, there were several that were just absolutely lasered into the outfield. I mean, not a lot of soft contact at all on Carmen Mlodzinski. They were just hitting it every which way. And that was kind of the book on Carmen Mlodzinski early in the season. The only difference was, one, he was keeping it in the ballpark more often than he has since rejoining the rotation. And 2, it was finding his outfielders. It was finding all of his fielders. There was a lot of hard contact, but it was directly into the hands of the Pirates defense. That hasn't happened since he rejoined the rotation. That, I don't want to call it luck, because it's not all luck. Some of that is according to plan, but a lot of hard contact on Carmen Mlodzinski. In fact, 3 exit velocities over 100 miles an hour in just 3 innings pitched, and several others above 85 to 90 miles per hour. He got shelled on Monday night, and that's been the story since he rejoined the Pirates starting rotation. The Pirates can't come back with him like this. You know, we talked in that first segment about Connor Griffin and how big his return would be for the Pirates lineup. The return of O'Neal Cruz and how big that is going to be for the Pirates lineup. And both of them are helping the Pirates defensively in a major way as well when they return. But you need the starting pitching to step up. The bullpen's in a decent spot. You could have a lot more faith in this Pirates bullpen than you had previously, but the starting rotation has a lot of question marks. And if Carmen Mlodzinski continues the way that he's been continuing, I don't know if there's a path back for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They don't really have many options to replace him and put him back in the bullpen. I mean, you look at the guys that it could be, and there's no real great options, especially compared to Carmen Mlodzinski, even at his current play. Wilbur Dotel hasn't gone more than 4 innings pitched since making his MLB debut earlier this season, and he only got to 4 innings pitched once, and that was a long time ago. Christian Curtis, who had 1 promising start out of the All-Star break, is just returning from an injury. Actually, I don't think he started that game. I think that was a opener into Christian Curtis, but he was impressive nonetheless against the Guardians. He just returned from injury and, again, only has 1 game of MLB experience. And then there's Hunter Barco, who I think a lot of people were expecting to step up and potentially be an option at this point in the season for the starting rotation, but he just continues to get hit hard every opportunity that he's given at the MLB level. Sunday against the Boston Red Sox was no different, giving up a 3-run home run in that game. So you look at the rotation, you understand that they are struggling, and they have been struggling since the MLB All-Star break. Yes, there have been a couple of instances where the rotation and starters have been able to pitch and put together solid starts. I mean, Jared Jones had a gutsy start over the weekend, but more often than not, since the All-Star break, he has been touched up pretty well. Paul Skeens is still trying to figure out whatever is going on with Paul Skeens. Bubba Chandler has been a little bit more consistent of late, and Braxton Ashcraft, who had struggled coming out of the All-Star break, is coming off of a stellar performance against the Miami Marlins. Actually, the best pitching performance we've seen in quite some time from a Pittsburgh Pirates starter. Can he build off of that? And can he continue to be that dominant shutdown force that he had been most of the first half? And in that game against the Marlins, that's going to be huge, but they need Mlodzinski to step up. You need to not have his starts essentially become a bullpen day. Because as we've seen, the Pirates sometimes are going to need to rely on the bullpen to have an actual bullpen day. Lake Bacher doing that on Sunday with Hunter Barco, and the ability to get a huge series win because those guys are able to shut down, to a certain extent, the Boston Red Sox. You can't have that followed up with Carmen Mlodzinski going only 3 innings, where you have to rely on Isaac Mattson to give you multiple innings, where you have to rely on Yohan Ramirez, who just came back from paternity leave, to go multiple innings. He was unable to do so. He could only go 1, but I'm sure the plan was for him to go at least 2, maybe even push him to 3, considering where the Pirates were at in that game. But when I look at Mlodzinski, if you're going to make that statement, all those months ago when Jared Jones returned and you were the one that was the odd man out and you stepped away from the team for a day or two and said that you need to evaluate your options, you need to speak with your family, speak with your agent before going back to the bullpen, then when you're given the chance, you need to back it up. And to this point, he hasn't. So the pressure is on in a big way for Carmen Mlodzinski, and unfortunately for the Pirates, it's in a situation where they really have nowhere else to turn.